Fucking bike. This bike is so good. All right. Ducati Hypermotard 698 mono review. I was only able to put maybe like, I'm only able to put a handful of miles on this bike. I did like 35 miles, but like most of it was just nice back road, 2-lane twisties that are made for this bike. Like the handling is just razor sharp, like front wheel dominant. You can feel everything. And it's just like you have a ton of feedback. I did a couple loops of the same road, just progressively faster each time around. Granted, I don't know the roads that I'm on very well, so I'm not gonna go absolute ham, but just sharp, light, really just fun to ride. The real big point outs, the highlight here, are the front brakes. This Brembo master cylinder setup, 310 mil, 320 mil front rotor. This thing bites, like it bites. The whole weight of the bike shifts forward, like the rear goes light. And with the mapping that I have it set to ABS 2, ABS 2, wheelie control to 1, traction control to 2. Like just step on the rear brake and it'll backslide. It starts the slide a little bit, and then you're able to just hold it. And you can feel the brake pressure getting lighter, so it's training you to like tap in, brake, and then like start to lose and slide it. It's so good. The electronics are fantastic. There were a couple turns that I was coming out of where I could feel the rear starting to give slightly and get a little bit of slide, and then it would kick right back in. So the traction control is solid, really dig it. Highway poles, just like, you're gonna get ahead of traffic. It's great, right? It's great till like 110 miles an hour. Like it'll do the ton. I had an extra gear in 6. I was going 95 in 5th, and I was just ahead of traffic. It's fine. It's vibey. Like it doesn't matter that there's 2 counterbalancing shafts. Like it's great. It's not as vibey as like the 2018 and before Husky 701 and 690s. And then when they got that counterbalancer, that single counterbalancer, it made it a little less bleh, right? This is better than the 690 and 701 of current model year, 2024-25. It's just a fun bike. It's just a stupid, dumb, fun motorcycle. Lane splitting, oh my God. An absolute dream come true, especially here in Texas, where you kind of got to do it slowly. I was doing it a little faster than I should, but you know, like if you're in California, this bike is just made for splitting through traffic. It's just so nimble, so narrow. It's perfect. It's a perfect urban assault bike. I have to check my mileage because I don't want to go over and have my boss be mad at me. But I'm gonna take it back into the city, and I'm gonna go kind of just bang around more of those tight spaces. But from a twisty canyon, go-kart, even a bigger track, like it's sharp. The front has a lot of feedback and feel, and it's like you can get aggressive with it, but you can go over that edge. Like it gets a little squirrely if you go a little too hard, but man, what a fucking rad bike. Where would I put it on the list of everything that I've ridden? I mean, it's in the top, it's in the top 10, top 15. But in terms of like everyday usability, like if you're commuting, like if you're not gonna go more than like 50 miles outside of your like where you live, and you're in an urban center, this is like a top 5 bike. Like, it's so good. And it's got a ton of good power, like that usable power. I think it's like 80% of it's available above 6,000 RPM, 70% above 4,000 RPM. This thing pulls right up to 10.5. Like it keeps going. I could session in 2nd and 3rd gear on some of these tight roads. It just felt good. It's fun to be on a bike that's just so light and nimble. And I would hope and say to everybody, like my hope and goal and dream for the future of motorcycling is that the supermoto era of like the 80s and 90s make their way back in like the 20s and 30s. These middleweight, nimble, highly usable machines just be available. And like, I mean, this one's expensive, right? It's in the category, you know, you're still looking at the RVE, like 15, 16 out the door with freight and dealer prep and all that stuff. This one, 14 out the door, standard, and you're gonna wanna throw that Termignoni pipe on it. You're gonna wanna get that extra horsepower. I could go either way on the graphics at this point. I hear the quick shifter is absolutely sublime, so you can throw that on after the fact, but like, let's just say all in, if you're gonna get this supermoto just to the point of just like, mwah, for you, 17, 18 with, you know, frame sliders, suspension, a little bit of this extra suspension work depending upon your weight. Like I'd have to respring this because I could feel it getting a little wily on me. It's a lot. It's a lot of money for a supermoto. You could get a clapped out 450 or 250 and you have to rebuild it all the damn time. But, you know, I would love to see the world get back to supermoto. These bikes are so much fun to ride, and they're great to learn on too. They're like everything, all the stuff that I'm doing on this bike, stupidly, I've learned from my track experience. But I know that if I practiced and honed more of my skill and my riding dynamics on this bike, I'd probably shave maybe another second or two off my track time at Coda with my street triple once that thing gets dialed in. Love supermotos. Love supermotos. If you get the chance to ride the Ducati Hypermotard 698 mono, do it. It's a fun hoot of a bike, but you got to take it somewhere where you're like doing a couple like tight canyon roads. When you get into the tight canyons, it's where this thing just shines. All right, went for another quick little ride there. Just want to point out what I think are some of the cons that you might think about when you have this bike, right? Or just, you have to be realistic and objective, right? As much as I love this bike, it's the saddle. After about an hour, you're gonna be feeling it. Get a new saddle. I'm sure somebody like Seat Concepts or somebody's making an aftermarket, or you could refoam it yourself, whatever. My little hack and trick for most motorcyclists, that if there's a hard saddle, just get a pair of cycling shorts that have like the inner butt protection, like the foam pad. That'll get you another 30 minutes without super soreness. So that's a pretty awesome up. The vibrations from the hand, or not so much the vibrations are kept down at least as minimal as you can on a big heavy single cylinder like this. But for urban commuting and traffic, just going through like, you know, squeezing through lanes and going at slow speed, right? A lot of friends and journalists have been like, you know, it doesn't lob itself down in the low range. It does. You have to be, you know, you got to manage your friction zone a little bit more, but it's easy to do. And with this Brembo hydraulic clutch, it's really easy. It's not, when your fingers aren't going to get tired. Those are the two or three that I could grab, you know, that are like, eh. But that's also to be expected with supermotos, right? Like, or just any kind of dirt bike that's almost been converted for street use. Like, you're just gonna run into that. It's a short haul weapon of a bike. So I just can't get past how much I love how just sharp it is. How sharp, nimble, and light and fun it is to ride. Like, this is what motorcycling is about. A lot of people want like outright power and speed. I want agility and nimbleness and the ability to just be a better rider and carry more speed, even on a slower bike. So this thing's just all tons of fun. Tons of fun. If you like these dumb videos that I'm doing, cool, make sure you like, subscribe, comment below, ask questions. I swear I'll answer everything and anything. I don't have any sponsors, or I'm not being sponsored by anybody. I've been in the moto industry for over a decade. I kind of straddle the line a lot of places, but I love all things two wheels, and having the background and experience that I have, I feel like I offer some good, unique points, especially to people getting into motorcycling that are kind of like stagnant in their 3 or 4 year journey, that are looking to like take their shit to the next step. Like, happy. So comment below. I'm gonna go ride this just a little bit more. It's such a good bike. All right, peace.